going right into it today. The intro song was good for a while, got them some victories,
Got us a loss.
and now it's over. I mean, it's what it is, and it's tough for me to do that after a game where kind of expected they would lose, but you also have the other thing where it's number one, they're at home, and number two, something's got to give with Arizona, right? And this is a game they probably should have won, for being honest.
They had every opportunity to win it. There's no doubt about it.
I guess they're soft,
Mistakes are mistakes. Yeah, all caps, SOFT, soft. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But right off the bat, like we always do, player of the game, our POG. It looks like we both picked the same guy, Trent Frazier. Trent kept the team in it. He went on a huge run by himself. 11-0 run by himself at one point, 27 points, 6 of 11 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 steals, a block, and an assist. And the biggest stat, mainly running the point by himself, 0 turnovers against, pretty solid defense in Arizona. So pretty big for him. Me and the wife went to the game, riding the bus from Pia's. Some guy said that Trent Frazier had the worst crossover in college basketball. So, what's that? What's our saying?
I don't understand that.
I don't know, but it was like I was baffled. So I hope he watched the game when he was there and wasn't just drinking Miller Lights the whole time. So. Trent made some guys look stupid, I thought, with his crossover. But, yeah, he's part of that 19-0 run. Illinois went on to take a double-digit lead. And then DeMonte did what DeMonte does. I feel like I say that all the time. But went ahead and got a foul and then got teed up. And, it just kind of let Arizona – run back a little bit and get back in this game. After the game, Trent did say, this one stings. It's going to hurt for a while. We've got to do better defensively closing out games. And he's right. Arizona, towards the end of the game, was running and was getting open threes, and Matherin just shut him down. And also Krisa could seem like he got to the basket whenever he wanted late in the game. So Alfonso Plummer, another 21-plus point game, 25 points, 6 of 14 from 3, 14 threes. He missed some open ones, but, he did what he could do. There was only 4 guys from Illinois that scored. So, but Plummer also had 4 rebounds, assists, and 5 turnovers. The biggest one was at the end of the game, of course, under a minute. Down 3, and he gets a 5-second call called on him. Underwood said after the game that, quote, he didn't know the rule. That's on me. I don't know how you're a 5th-year senior and you don't know about the 5-second rule. But that's apparently Brad's statement on that. I think Illinois had a timeout. Brad probably could have called a timeout if he saw the count. But that was a tough way to kind of lose the game. And I really don't understand when, Trent's been so good, and maybe they were trying to run a play to get Trent open. But Trent was so good. Why you put the ball in Plummer's hand out there? I don't know why you don't have Trent running the point, but again, that's what Brad chose to do. And, the game ended up how it ended up. Kofi was not good at all. 5 for 15 from the field. Illinois as a team was 2 of 9 on layups and 1 of 3 on dunks. Kind of gross. 13 points, 13 rebounds, so another double-double. Doesn't matter when you lose, not really. And then he had 5 turnovers too. It seemed like he had a hard time catching the ball. I felt like Koloko dominated him whenever he got the ball. Had a few blocks on him. Koloko had 4 blocks, so Kofi didn't look good. And I know that he hit a 15-foot jumper earlier in the game, but towards the end of the game, terrible shot. That's not what Illinois needed, was him pulling up from 17 feet, trying to knock one down. So, and his free throw shooting was not great again. 3 of 6, 50%. I mean, he only shot 6 of them. The 2 that he did miss, Illinois ended up getting the offensive rebound, and then Kofi got fouled again. Then he made 1 of 2. So just not great. And then Grandison was the other guy that scored. 4 guys somehow. 4 guys score. So Grandison, 14 points, 4 of 9 from 3. Illinois went 16 of 36 from 3 for 44%. Inside the arc, they shot 39.7%. So
the only way they can stay in games is by making threes. So,
yeah, it seems to be that. Well, especially if Kofi's going 5 for 15.
I mean, is there any point of like even thinking, oh, well, we have Kofi? Because everyone's talking about Koloko going into the game, and Kofi did nothing against him.
Yeah, and I mean, and it wasn't just Koloko. I mean, it seemed like everybody they put on Kofi kind of shut him down.
They have too much length.
Yeah.
And the other problem is when you're number 4, your stretch 4 is absolutely worthless, then what the hell's the point?
Yeah.
Coleman Hawkins is garbage. I'm sorry.
He
he
bad.
Stinks. He stunk in almost every game this season, except for when they're playing 4th grade teams, like they're playing on Saturday. So I hope he can have 20 and 10 there so everyone can say how good he is again.
And that's why. So when does Grandison get the start over him?
Just start him. Oh
I don't understand that.
There's no bigger gap between a starter and a 6th man in the country than that one.
Yeah, I agree. Grandison had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. He also had 0 turnovers. So he's definitely outplayed Hawkins for 6 straight games.
And he made a couple corner threes late in the game that helped keep them in it. And the other thing is, you are in the Big Ten Conference, okay? A conference where it's supposed to be tough and defensive and all that stuff. And you can't get any stops down the stretch. And then when you have the ball within a possession with under 30 seconds left, you have a dude who's been playing college basketball for 5 seasons, this is his 5th season, standing there doing nothing, getting a 5-second. And also, why is DeMonte dribbling the basketball ever? Like, I don't care. I'd rather have Kofi run point than DeMonte. Because, my God, he does nothing with it. He just stands there.
Yeah, DeMonte, I mean, he didn't do anything special. If anything, he hurt the team.
He shouldn't be starting either. I'd start Goody over him.
Yeah. There's people on Twitter, people are saying that Goody needs to play more than Grandison, which is asinine, in my opinion. Grandison has to be averaging 14, 15 points a game. And Goody couldn't get a shot off. I mean, I understand he only played 7 minutes, but he couldn't get a shot off against Arizona.
He still brings more energy to the offensive end.
I agree, and I think he's a better leader at this point. I mean, a 5th-year senior, when you're on a 19-0 run to have a 13-point lead, cannot get teed up.
Happens every season too. So it's not like it's gonna. I know that's him, and that's fine. He's done a lot of great things.
Part of his attitude.
Jesus Christ! I mean, we can't have that.
Yeah, and that's why. And that's the thing is his lack of offense. His defense is his defense good enough for his lack of offense? And I don't know if it is right now. I mean, Matherin was 5 of 8 from 3, 10 of 17 for 30 points.
They also forgot about him a couple times. He was wide open.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't think Plummer's very good at defense. Creasa towards the end of the game went to the hole anytime he wanted to, but also Plummer's putting up 20 plus points a game. So I'll take a couple bad defensive plays, and what really I think hurts is that you have Kofi down low, and he doesn't do anything to help stop anything.
Yeah, they have one elite defender. That's it. One.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to do everything when all they got to do is so Creasa can just give the ball to Matherin, and then he'll do whatever he wants against anybody. Yeah. And that's going to be a problem in the Big Ten because there's teams in the Big Ten this season, not as much as the last few years. You know, you look at Marcus Carr and what he did at Minnesota and a couple other guys that are gone now, but they're going to have some issues. I mean, they're lucky that Iowa has nobody that can shoot at the guard position other than Bohannon, and he did not do anything against Illinois. So teams that have more than one guard that can score. Teams that have more than one guard that can score are going to eat this team alive. I mean,
Right.
Curbelo, when he was playing, was terrible defensively too.
Yeah. And that's
They have a bunch of guards who can like get the ball and get steals, but can't actually defend on the ball.
right.
So that's about it.
Yeah. So yeah, you had those guys. Hawkins played 12 minutes. So basically Grandison was a starter. He played 31 minutes. And then you had Bosman Verdonk with 2 minutes, missed a free throw, got a
had
rebound.
had an offensive rebound in his hand and lost it immediately.
Yeah. Payne, everybody said it was the best game he played. He turned the ball over every time he touched it.
Did Payne play?
8 minutes. 8 minutes. 0 for 2. I think he was the 2 missed dunks.
Very nice pickup there. Very nice.
And then Goody had 7 and Melendez had 3. So I mean, basically they're going out there playing 5 guys right now, is what it seems like.
And they're relying on 3 of them to score.
Yeah.
Or 4 of them, I guess. 4 of them.
Yeah.
Well, Frazier, they weren't really relying on Frazier to score at all until this game, but
yeah, Frazier was unreal. I mean, he was
single-handedly got them back in the game, kept them in the game, and then let the mistakes happen because this team's going to make about 40 mistakes a game. And it's not even a this team thing. It's an every single year team thing.
Right.
And people are saying, oh, why is Illinois so bad at the end of games under Underwood? Under Underwood, right? Nailed that. They weren't last season. I wonder why. Because the guy that's playing on the Chicago Bulls is on this team. And now after that, it's just an absolute mess. I think it goes back to coaching at the end of the game. It's just like you said, why does Plummer have the ball?
I don't know. It had to be because they were trying to set something up for Trent. But in a position under a minute within a basket, you put the ball in the guy that handles the ball 90% of the time.
And if he gives up the ball, he can get the ball back because there's 30 seconds left.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. It was very questionable that
I mean, it was the most
Underwood
Illinois thing. I mean,
doing.
With Underwood here, that's what his teams do. They make incredibly stupid mistakes and turn the ball over a lot. And then they change the way they play every single season. So this year it's all about relying on the 3. And if they're not making threes, they're going to get destroyed by somebody unless Kofi is able to do something. So
right.
Yeah, this was a game that they would have lost by 30 if they couldn't make anything. And early on, Arizona was doing whatever they wanted there for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Until Trent Frazier went off.
It's so annoying because Arizona was not that bad last season, but they were banned from the postseason.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, with a bunch of sophomores in their team, they're like the best team in the country. It's just stupid.
And I know that Brad said the team was soft and everything, but Arizona, like if you've watched Arizona play, Arizona probably plays harder than any other team.
Yep.
I mean, they are 100% go all the time. And a lot of people are saying that Kofi was wore out from the pace of the game and all this stuff. I don't know about that. I just think that I just think that he wasn't as good as the guy defending him. And Arizona didn't have to worry about dropping down on him because Koloko could handle him himself.
They did it a little bit early in the game. But
yeah.
Even when they were doing that, it was more so Kofi dropping the ball or not getting it cleanly. Like I said in the last episode, I said, hey, he might drop the ball a few times. You said he's only done it once, which he was good at it all season. And then this game, it just collapsed. I don't even know what the hell. It's like one day he's catching it, doing whatever he wants with it. And then the next day,
because 70% of entry passes are at his ankles. I mean, if I was 7 foot, I wouldn't want to catch something at my ankles.
But then how else are they going to get to him, right? I mean,
I don't know.
Especially when Koloko is like 8 foot tall.
Learn how to bounce it instead of roll it.
I agree. They always do it's kind of dumb, but Grandison's very good at it, I think. But this is what it comes down to, and it's not as much of a slight at Underwood as it's going to sound, but this is what happens when you have a coach of a team who has been in a program that has been incredibly successful for the last 20 years, paid his dues as an assistant coach, can legitimately coach, gets an opportunity in the Pac-12 with an already good roster. Sean Miller left him a pretty good roster. This team's pretty good. And now he's coaching them. And this also is what happens when you have
coaching them up. Yeah.
You also have a team of a bunch of foreign players who are very good at fundamentals, which clearly Illinois is not at all. Is there one player on the Illini that you could say very fundamentally sound basketball player?
Nope.
And how many can you say that on Arizona? at least 5.
Yeah.
Tubelis, I mean, it's annoying how he basically jumps on a player when the ball goes in the ground, but playing hard.
Yeah.
Mathurin, I mean, it's ridiculous the fact that Illinois, they are playing like a team that thinks that they're great and they have nothing to prove. How do they not have anything to prove? They were a 1 seed last season. They got knocked out in the second round by an in-state rival in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah.
Not even a rival, but an in-state school.
Yeah.
So, and this is mostly the same team with a couple of additions. It's so stupid. This all comes back to everybody telling everybody how great they are.
Yep.
And Arizona clearly didn't have that.
They're reading their press clippings.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Arizona has players from all over the country who love playing basketball. I mean, Matherin's not even from this country. So it's just, I don't know. He's Canadian, right? Nailed that. So it's just, it's annoying that you have this situation because Illinois should not be outworked by another team in their own building.
Yeah.
In December. It's just, it's ridiculous.
It was loud. I mean, it was except for the fans that tell other fans to sit down and not cheer on a game like that. I might have got into it with some people.
If you paid to go to a game of this magnitude to sit down, you're an absolute idiot. And you're escorted out by security, to be quite honest.
Well, the worst part is that it was all U of I students in front of us. So it was people that, couldn't get into the Orange Crush because they didn't get enough donations or whatever. And they were seriously getting yelled at to sit down. Luckily, when there was, 7 minutes left in the game, everybody was standing up, so it didn't matter. But, they cared about, for about, I don't know, 43 minutes. Anyways, I wrote down a few keys, just some things. And these stats, they're not that far off. Turnovers were Illinois 16, Arizona 14. But Arizona scored 16 plus points off turnovers. I think Illinois might have had 2 or 4 or whatever.
There should be a stat for turnovers and stupid turnovers.
Yeah, and that was the thing is
a lot of stupid turnovers.
Illinois, and they were in a pivotal part of the game. I felt like they turned the ball over more under 5 minutes than they did the whole game, which maybe that isn't true, but that's what it seemed like. And then Arizona was just running on them. So
that Arizona they play very fast.
Yeah,
very fast. That's what they do.
Stop.
And they do what Illinois should be doing to teams. Why can't Illinois do that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Last season too, same thing. Illinois did it more, basically against teams they could turn over, like Minnesota. They were doing that against. But the stupid turnover index should be stupid turnovers. Okay, one example: standing there for 5 seconds and not dribbling the ball. Number 1. Number 2, rolling it to Kofi's ankles and he loses it. Number 3,
lazy passes.
Hawkins pivoting around 6 times, then trying to throw it back towards half court to get it to Frazier or Plummer. It gets knocked away. Did that against Iowa. That's a stupid turnover. Mm-hmm. So it's those kinds of turnovers that should be accounted for in comparison to the other turnovers, such as a bad charge call or something of that nature.
Sure. Yeah. And then rebounding 43-42, Arizona won the battle of the boards by 1. But it seemed like it was way more lopsided than that. Maybe because Illinois has been beating teams by 15 plus on the boards. I mean, that's kind of how they beat Iowa and kept that lead, is by out rebounding them by so much. So I guess this is what happens when a team rebounds the same as them. The biggest one for me, this is unreal. Illinois was outscored 42-16 in the paint. 42-16,
because they have nobody that can score in the paint other than Kofi, and he didn't play well. So,
but that also means that you're not defending in the paint very well too.
Yep, and it goes back to Hawkins being garbage. It goes back to Payne being garbage. It goes back to Lieb being garbage. Take one at Lieb there. He can take over the team. He's in the same room as them. Bosman's Verdonk should be a defensive end, and that's it.
The thing is, Kofi and Payne go against Lieb, so they look really good when they go against the Improv.
That's true. Is Hutcherson at the games, by the way?
Yeah, he was there.
Why?
So
why? Dude, you're done. Just leave.
I feel bad for the guy.
I do too.
You don't care.
Hey, I feel bad for him being out for the season. But at the end of the day, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if he can come back. I mean, I guess technically he has 1 year left, but
I don't want him back. I'm
I
sorry.
don't.
Go back to wherever you were, and I think you can finish out a solid career there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Hawkins should follow him too. I mean, get the hell out. I'm done with this guy. And it's not even his fault, you know. It's the fault of the people hyping him up.
mhm.
It's ridiculous. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. He can he defend though? Really? I mean, he's had like 1 or 2 games where
Yeah,
you're like, okay, his
yeah.
defense was good, but like,
And I guess the big thing is like, I mean, people got to realize that Hawkins averaged like 3 minutes a game last year.
I don't care.
And there's a reason for that though,
He sucks. Yeah.
because he wasn't good enough.
Well, I mean, I think he's been called for a few ticky-tack fouls that have kind of ruined his games.
I agree.
But the more it keeps happening, the more you think, well, maybe he's just,
actually fouling him.
not good. How about that? I mean, maybe we should think about that. But all I heard about was, oh, man, is Coleman Hawkins a potential all Big Ten first-team player? Is he? I mean, that's what
2
you hear.
years.
Maybe like in a different universe. I mean, come on. He should not be starting. He should not be anywhere near the starting lineup. If he starts on Saturday, you really got to question what this has all been about.
Brad loves him, so
I don't give a shit what Brad thinks about him.
He's the coach, so
well, maybe Chester should grow a goddamn pair and say, "Hey, Hawkins stinks. Get him out of the lineup. Put in Grandison, who's clearly the better player." I would make 2 lineup changes. DeMonte, see ya. Sorry, you're making too many stupid mistakes. You can't make a damn shot. Your defense is below average compared to what it has been in the past. So I would go Frazier, Plummer, insert anybody. It could be bring back Edgar Padilla Jr., throw him in there. Okay. And then at the 4, Grandison, don't care how big the other team is. It's been proven that the length of the other team does not matter because Hawkins stinks. So Grandison goes in there, don't care the height difference. Kofi at the 5. So whoever you want to put in the 3rd spot, you could put Goody in there, give him a start. How the hell has Melendez gotten a start and Goody hasn't? I feel like that's a big topic here.
I agree.
So, and Curbelo, I mean, Jesus, are we ever going to see him? Maybe he's out for the season.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There was a lot of talk about Illinois would have probably won this game if Curbelo was
I mean,
there.
what is the point of even like talking about that?
I don't know.
We were clearly a worse team when he was there. Okay, maybe they'd be better.
I don't.
What does Curbelo bring to
at
the?
all?
Okay.
I do not agree.
When he's starting, when he's starting, they're
Curbelo.
a worse team. When he's starting, they're a worse team than they are now. If he's coming off of the bench for the first few games, he comes back, I think they'll be fine. But here's the thing: what does Curbelo do in this game that he would turn the ball over a lot? I mean, let's be honest. He's facing a team with good guards.
What 5 and 5 and. I mean,
I would say
like
9.
Guys aren't turning the ball over.
Over under 9 turnovers.
I don't know.
He can't shoot. You got to remember that. I feel like we look at the player and we think he can shoot, but he can't.
I don't care if he can shoot. We just need
what is he going to bring to the? What's he going to bring to the game?
If Curbelo was starting and ran the point like he can run a point,
if he does it to his capability, which he had not done all season, then
you have Plummer and Frazier just running off screens all day long.
Okay, but let me ask you this:
substantially better.
Who guards Matherin in that scenario?
He's putting up 30 anyways. Who cares?
He might put up 40 if Curbelo's guarding him.
It doesn't matter. He put up 30.
Okay, have Frazier on Matherin, then go with Krisa against Curbelo. Krisa would have gotten going a lot earlier than he did.
Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't understand. Like it's too hypothetical. Like this is.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know why people brought that up. It just seems stupid.
Well, I mean, Brad was part of it.
Brad is an idiot. I think we know that by now.
Quote: some people had him as a first-team All-American. You take that away from your team, everything we have done since has been a little bit out of sync.
Here's what I love about sports. Let's just take Andy Katz for example. Okay, if Andy Katz said that Andre Curbelo is a potential first-team All-American, everybody agrees. Every Illini fan's like, oh, my God, he's so right about this. Oh, man. But if he criticizes anything, it's all motivation, and this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So people love the opinion of one thing about something from somebody, but if it's an opinion that they disagree with, the person's an idiot and a loser. And I do that with a lot of people. So I do this as well. But athletes doing it, It's just like Brad's bringing that up like, oh, some people. Who are these people? Are these people that you disagree with on 99% of things? But if he says this, he's right about it. It's just stupid. The idea of agreeing with something because some particular person said it is dumb, because if they say something you disagree with, then you won't ever listen to anything they say again. It's just stupid. The whole thing is stupid. The way this team is covered is ridiculously stupid. I don't know why Underwood's going after his team after this game as if he let a player stand there with the like. Did you say anything from the bench? Was anybody yelling? I don't even remember. I blacked out. I was so effing shocked by that.
I don't know. He also said that when we get Curbelo back, and then he quickly said we may not have him back for a while.
I mean,
and then yesterday, just while we're on Curbelo, yesterday on the Brad Underwood show, he said, quote, "He's getting better. We see it every day. It's something we take very serious, the health and well-being of our guys. We never want to put them in a situation that could change their life beyond their time here." Then he added, "We've got to be solid, and Bello's getting better. His spirits are great. He's doing a tremendous job of talking with our guys, communicating. It's getting closer for him, but still keeping working at it."
He just did what I did, which is say a whole lot of words without actually saying anything, number one. And number two, what, did he contradict himself 42 times? I
really think it's got to be a mental health thing.
And we can't really speculate on that because we don't know, but it's also confusing. Like, here's the
a lot of people think that just because why wouldn't you just say what it is?
Yeah, I mean, like I texted you, the announcer said post-concussion syndrome.
Yeah, which Underwood said a week ago that's not what it was.
And then every other website says neck injury, so it's got to be neither of those things. It's probably like an ankle injury or something. We just don't know. But
it's not his ankle; he's dancing on the sidelines all the time.
If he's not back by like mid-January, I think we got to pull the plug on this thing.
I don't know.
Not the
I hope
season,
he gets better, you know.
Yeah, I do too.
But then he probably listens to our podcast and you call him garbage and such, and it just doesn't help.
I feel like I defend him a lot more than other people do. Like, if you look at the Facebook groups, I think they'll find a way to blame that game on Curbelo.
Yeah. A lot of Illini fans, I'd say 98%, 99% were happy with this loss.
Who's happy with a loss? Who's happy with a loss?
I'm telling you, dude.
There are ways to
I'm telling you.
I don't know what is Underwood paying
your
every
Facebook
fan?
Groups are happy with this loss.
Not in the moment. They won't shut up about turnovers and other things. But
that's all I saw was, wow, great game.
It was a great game.
The guys. It
was a great game. If you're looking, I was looking at it both as an Illini fan and as an objective observer.
Yeah.
And I think Underwood's got a lot of fans in the payroll to spin zone this thing.
Well, Underwood wasn't happy with it. I mean, Clearly. He literally said, put it in all caps, softness, soft. Have you ever known my teams to be like that? Is what he said.
Well, I mean, what is – okay, let me ask you this one. What do you think his definition is of being soft or not being soft?
He did say it was about about other teams just taking the ball away from Illinois. Like, literally, they just go in there and they rip it out of their hands. I think that's what he's calling soft.
I think what we should be calling soft.
They're not strong with the ball, and he blames it a lot on practice and injuries. So
yeah, the Illinois defense looks about like the Chicago Bears defense. That's about right. Soft.
I think Arizona's going to make everybody look bad. I think I still don't know how Arizona's not a top 5 team.
That's the dumbest thing. The AP voters are the dumbest people. If you put every AP voter in a room, and I like some of them, most of them no, and most of them I've never heard of, that's got to be like a combined like basketball IQ of like 6. Just a bunch of morons in there. But has Illinois' defense looked good at all this season in games against teams that don't suck? And I guess Rutgers, do we think that they suck? I mean, they beat Purdue, but
right.
I still don't think they're very good, and Illinois killed them.
Because if they're off, they're off. I mean, that's Rutgers.
So when does Illinois' defense look good against a team that doesn't suck?
I don't know.
Never. Iowa tore them to shreds without being able to make anything for most of it. 83 points against Iowa, scored 83 against them.
True.
Arizona is going to make a lot of teams look dumb, but also Illinois still sucks defensively, and I think that is it's going to be a problem in the Big Ten. Maybe not as much of a problem as it would have been last season, because I still think the Big Ten's not as good as it was last season, but really makes you think with some of these Big Ten teams. I mean, Michigan just, they stink. But it's hard to judge the Big
Michigan
Ten.
got beat by what, 20?
Yeah, we got
Arizona?
Michigan fans commenting about Illinois lost to Arizona, and it's like, oh, at least ours is on a neutral site. Hey, dipshit. Hey, can you hear me, Michigan fans? You absolute effing FUCKING morons. You lost to Minnesota in the same goddamn day by double digits. Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who is not that good. I don't care what the record is. These Minnesota fans are going to be in for a rude awakening when most of the Big Ten beats the piss out of them because they're not that good. And on the same day that Michigan loses to Minnesota, this game was in Ann Arbor, by the way. They're saying, oh, we lost to Arizona on a neutral site. First of all, why are you even saying we? Because you're not in the team. I mean, that's number one. And number two, maybe focus on the fact you just lost to Minnesota. I feel like that's another thing where it's the same thing either way.
Yeah.
Coleman Hawkins tweeting, oh, Michigan lost. I feel so much better. I mean, shut up. Seriously. And the Michigan fans doing the same thing. Michigan players, I don't pay attention to their Twitter, so I don't know if they've done this, but yeah, the whole thing is stupid. I mean, it's just, who do you hate more, Michigan fans or Iowa fans?
Michigan fans.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
I don't interact with Iowa fans. Well, I don't interact with Michigan.
I don't
ever see Iowa fans interacting.
Do they have smartphones in Iowa? I feel like they probably don't.
Literally the same as Illinois, dude. You can't even say anything.
No,
it's pretty close, dude.
Chicago? Do they have anything even close to Chicago and Iowa? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Des Moines.
Please. There's like probably a Casey's on every corner.
It says to the Cardinals fan. Why do you care about Chicago?
I'm just saying, Illinois as a state has way more going for it, even though most of it stinks, than Iowa.
Ooh.
I mean, Iowa, I don't even know if they have like cell towers there. I don't think they do. Nebraska, too.
I think they're still 3G, but
Nebraska's an enormous dump with Lincoln in the middle of it. So that's what Nebraska is. So you got to think about that for sure.
Anyways, I think we're just going to wrap this up with a few BU quotes so you can, tell him he's trash or whatever. He did shout out my breakout player of the year, Brandon Podziemski.
Yeah.
He said that he had the best week of practice by far, and you know how Brad loves going off his practices. But he couldn't get him into the game because of matchups.
Has Brad ever thought that his practices suck? Like his routine and what he does in practice sucks?
I don't know.
Because if you have a great week of practice and you can't play any games at all, maybe just give up.
Yeah. He also said, I think there's a lot of things to grow on. I think our guys understand now what big boy basketball truly is. Brad, you have 3 super seniors, a senior, and a junior playing on your team. What are you talking about? Like I said before, he said that they need to grind this week out and have smash mouth 5-on-5 basketball with consequences for turning the ball over. So whatever Brad's consequences are, I'm guessing that a lot of guys are going to have to deal with them.
They're still going to turn the ball over every game 40 times.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? Oh, he said, we're not tough enough yet to beat a national championship caliber team, which I think is true. And then he also said, quote, we got to learn to run offense better.
Yep.
And we'll end with Underwood saying, quote, would not be surprised at all if you see this again in late March. So he thinks that his team's going to be playing into late March.
Newsflash, unless that's in the NIT, I'm not thinking so.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
oh, boy.
When does the tournament start? I mean,
are
they even going to play in March?
You're on one.
Well,
so, Illinois loses to Arizona. Clearly a top 5 team. Who cares what the pollsters say? Arizona's really, really good. And Illinois should have won, but they didn't.
What do you consider late March?
I would say,
after March
after
20th?
the 15th.
Really? Late? I was thinking more like after the 20th. So they'd have to get to the Sweet 16 to be playing in late March. I'm not thinking that's possible.
It's just out of the first weekend.
I mean, it's not looking too hot for this team, I have to say. I don't know.
2-0 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I guess they can fall back on that if you want to brag about beating.
I mean, this was by far the biggest game played in the State Farm Center in a long time.
Well, last season there would have been bigger
at
games.
Capacity.
Last season there would have been bigger games. They could have had fans.
Yeah, but I mean, non-conference wise.
Yeah.
Illinois, they were supposed to play Arizona last year. They probably would have beat them.
It's pretty much the same team with a different coach. Not exactly the same team. Just they were younger last year too, but I still think Arizona probably would have beaten them.
Beat Illinois last year?
Yeah, you're always in for one of those losses,
drunk.
Right?
Jeez.
This team stinks. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And everyone's going to think that they're so.
Ethan's at. Let's get that straight.
Everyone thinks they're going to be the greatest thing ever when they beat St. Francis, PA by 50, which
I don't think anybody's going to think that. But
all I know is that they need to circle December 22nd. Because I swear to God, if they lose to Missouri,
we're shutting it down.
People will not be able to listen to this podcast because their headphones will break. I'm not tolerating that. I mean, Missouri is garbage with a capital G-A-R. Whoa, I stumbled over the A. Maybe I am drunk. G-A-R-B-A-G. So I can spell.
We're getting a garbage counter next time. Next pod, a garbage counter is coming in.
Do you realize that we are like 2 episodes away from the Missouri game?
Yeah.
Man.
Realize I got a board meeting the night of the Missouri game, so you might have to start the watch party without me.
If they lose the Missouri game during the watch party too, I mean, that could just be whew. We could be talking about the demolition of the program, really.
Yeah, it's going to be thin ice galore.
Underwood's got to go.
Wasn't it last year where thin ice got made?
Yeah, it was the Missouri game.
Yeah,
which Missouri last season made the tournament, but they weren't that much better than.
They're a lot worse this year.
Oh, a lot worse, yeah. But anyway, before that, you got to get to St. Francis, PA, who is not good. They're 3-5. They're a bad basketball team. It's pretty simple to figure that out. This game's Saturday at noon on the Big Ten Network. I'm sure they'll throw Bardo out for this one because, he's like a D-list commentator, right? So
before we get into that, how did you think the officiating was in the Arizona game? I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought it was fine, but I also think that we kind of almost always look at it that way if they don't impact the game in a deep way at the end.
True.
So, like, for example, the Iowa game, at the end of the first half, we thought it was fine because it did start to even out. But in the second half, when Iowa just takes the ball to the hoop and expects to get fouled, then you say it's bad. So,
sure.
I think it's kind of a half-to-half thing, but it was Borowski.
We had Big Bo on it, so I just didn't know what your feelings were.
Well, he stinks. I think
good enough not to affect the game. I got you. Well, I mean, except for the 5-second call.
Which, if a team's dumb enough to let that happen, I mean, this is a team.
I agree.
In the last 2 games that has a 3 10-second calls and a 5-second. I mean, this is not D3 basketball. It's not high school basketball.
I wish I wish I could watch that again because at the game I wasn't even thinking about it because he wasn't it didn't seem like he was on him, but I guess it's within 6 feet. Which I think that can't be right?
I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is a joke.
Yeah. Anyways, who cares?
Plummer should be kicked off the team. Anyway.
Then we'd only have 3 scorers a game.
I mean, do we really consider Kofi a scorer after that performance?
Well, he had 13 more than 5 other guys.
Here was the problem for him, I think, at the free throw line at least. He didn't shoot one forever.
Yeah.
Like, it was really late in the game when he got his first free throw. So I feel like that probably affected him a little bit.
Did you feel like he was getting beat up down low?
Not more than normal, I don't think. But also, he took like a 16-footer. So what the hell are we doing?
He made one.
If he's not shooting,
he apparently was taking a little heat check, with the game on the line.
if he's not shooting from the sides, he's not making it. If he's shooting from the sides, he's making it. If he's near the top, if he's straight on, he's not making it.
Oh,
if he's shooting from the sides, he's making it.
Oh, what a terrible shot!
Illinois
what was
is
he thinking?
Well, he's just following Underwood's formula, which is make a mistake in every single phase of the game, every single game. So that was the other phase, was a terrible shot. Hawkins usually covers the terrible pass and terrible foul ones.
Yep.
And then Plummer was like, let's Underwood buys up for the game. Let's add the 5 second to this sucker. Let's really go in here.
I'll throw it in there.
But anyway, enough about Arizona. And, I'm just glad Sean Miller's not their coach because I would have lost my mind even more. But St. Francis, PA stinks, and it's very simple. Their 3 wins are over a D3 team they beat by 46. Lehigh, who's not good anymore, who's number 313 on KenPom. They beat them by 11, and then they beat Bucknell or Bucknell, whichever one you want to go with. I'm assuming it's Nell because it's Cornell. It's not Cornell, right? So I'm just going to go with that. They beat them by 26.
Okay.
And they're number 315 on KenPom, so they stink. The losses, they lost to 252 George Washington. They lost to Virginia Tech, who's number 33. They lost to Cornell, not Cornell, they lost to them by 13. That's 227. They lost to Ohio by 3, so not bad. And they lost to American, who's number 320, by 10. So no good wins. A couple bad losses. Not really for their standards because they're not good, but that's another thing you think about. And their projected lineup for this game. Guard, Ramir Dixon Conover, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. It is over, not over, so you never know. And it is, I guess, an American name, right? So 6'3", 185, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Senior guard Maxwell Land, 6'4", 185, 8 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Sophomore Rennell Giles Jr. or Giles, whichever one you want to go with. It's a G, though. You think Giles instead of Giles, right?
Sure.
6'4", 185, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a sophomore. Notice that all 3 of their guards listed at 185 pounds. Very interesting. Probably the first team in the country to have that going for them, at least at that number.
Probably, yeah. That's
front court.
I'm sure they're exactly 185 too.
I would tend to agree. Front court, Miles Thompson, 6'6", 230, 11 points, 3 rebounds, senior. And Josh Cohen, 6'10", 220, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, junior. They played 9 players in their last game. They lost to American. They played tonight against Hartford, who's number 266. So they'll probably be 3-6 coming into
spread
this.
On that game?
I didn't look, but there might be. I don't know. Are they even relevant enough to put one? We don't know.
I mean, people gamble on everything.
But sometimes you just
Hartford is a 2-point favorite. 1-8 Hartford is a 2-point favorite.
That's good. Yeah.
So that tells you anything about them. Yeah.
Dealing with a legitimate squad here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to play St. Francis, PA off of a loss. So you better hope that Hartford, loses tonight.
Yeah.
But KenPom metrics, offensive efficiency, Illinois number 17. How that's possible, I guess, is the 3-ball. That's about it, because God knows they don't do anything else well on offense if Kofi's not playing well. They are good at turning it over, so they have that going for them. St. Francis, PA is 165 on offense, so they're not that bad offensively, but they're also facing, Cornell and Bucknell and Francision, right? So
Francision.
Cornell, an Ivy League squad, of course. Defensive efficiency, their number 311 is St. Francis, PA, and Illinois number 36, which maybe this should be flipped because if you watch Illinois play defense, it's not great.
Whew.
And then other key stats, St. Francis, PA is number 35 in offensive turnover percentage, which I think means they don't turn the ball over that much. I don't know.
What's Illinois?
Oh boy, that's a big question. Illinois is 312. So 7% higher than St. Francis, PA, who did, St. Francis, PA lost to Cornell. So it's the whole thing. Illinois, unsurprisingly, is number 4 in the country in offensive rebound percentage. Not surprising, especially since they ate Iowa alive on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
So they got that going. But, this is a game that shouldn't be close. You'd hope that you can play Bosman's Verdonk and those losers without having to worry too much about it. Yeah. What's your projected score?
I think Illinois is going to bounce back. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to take care of this team. I'm going Illinois 98, SFPA 56.
Tremendous abbreviation.
Yes.
Very nice. Yeah, they're going to pass the century mark this time. 102-62. Easy 40-point win. Kofi's going to have 30. Plummer's going to have 25. Frazier's going to have 25. So that is 80 points. Then 22 from Grandison. So
how many is Sleeve going to have?
0, because it's going to be 4 players scoring.
Oh, that's true.
And Hawkins is going to get 6 fouls.
Let me see. They average 11. They average 12 turnovers per game.
What's Illinois at, 26 or something?
Something like that.
Can we go through Illinois' turnovers by game? I'd really love to know about that.
Sure.
Because it can't be good. It can't be. Jackson State, 19 turnovers. So that's a lot. 13 against Arkansas State. So that's 32 in 2 games against worthless opponents. 26 against Marquette. Really getting up there.
14 against Cincinnati.
Kansas State, 18. Jesus Christ. Are they going to have any game without double digits?
13 against UTRGV.
Do they have any games without double-digit turnovers? That's the big question here. Notre Dame, 12.
I don't think so. Rutgers, maybe?
Could be. Doubt it. 18 against Iowa.
10 against Rutgers. That's their lowest.
You can't avoid it. So even when they beat a team by 35, they still turn the ball over double digits. I mean, that is just pathetic. Hope Underwood feels good about the way that his offense is being run, since they do have to get better at running their offense. And maybe Gentry shouldn't have gotten shoved out the door.
I don't think. Okay. Anyways.
Well, I mean, he pretty much was.
Yikes.
Underwood sold out to try to keep Antigua and Coleman, who are a bunch of snake-ass bitches anyway.
Yeah, I think he was going back to Gonzaga anyways.
Probably. Did he take Lloyd's spot? He probably took Lloyd's spot. So it goes back to bite you. You lose a coach to Gonzaga, and then the coach that got his spot taken to go to Arizona beats your ass on your own home floor. Which State Farm Center, it being called that is the whole reason why they lost this game.
True. They did bring out the fire. That fire. That's cool. It was a fun game to be at. The loss sucked, but it was a fun game to be at.
At least they lost to a team that doesn't suck. That's
and then last thing, happy birthday, Brad Underwood. I think he's 53 today, something like that. So,
yeah,
happy birthday! You're garbage.
Yep, that's about right. The gift from us to you is that I did not go after you as much as I could have, which may be surprising to some people, but
good job.
I did my best to not, go after
just
you.
Went after everybody else.
Maybe you'll be coaching somewhere else by the time your next birthday rolls around.
Whoa!
Huh? I mean, December 2022, he might be coaching at Kansas State.
Never coming on this podcast. Okay.
Yeah, that was a lost dream anyway. It was never going to happen. I think he probably still would. What does he care? He doesn't strike me as someone who's not going to talk to somebody because they have said a few things. And also, anyone who's really taking our opinions that seriously about everything on this podcast should probably, not do that. But
Ethan's here for shock and awe, folks. Shock and awe.
Yep, that's right. Do you want to look at the Big Ten? I mean, do you have any comments on what the Big Ten is right now? They have the most wins against AP top 25 teams in the country right now at 9. So you got that going.
Who? What?
The Big Ten has the most wins against other AP top 25. Yeah, 9. So suck on that, really. That's what that comes down to. I mean, as a conference, it's still pretty good overall ranking-wise. A lot of green on KenPom, which is always good.
Yeah, they'll still get what 8 teams in probably. Psh, easy.
The big question is, does Northwestern factor into this?
Illinois 33 in Andy Katz's power rankings. See, he is kind of smart. He actually has Arizona too. So
he's just doing that because nobody else is for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how people still have Purdue number 1, but hey.
Some people get lost, I guess. Who do you think has the worst offensive efficiency in the Big Ten overall? This is an easy one.
Penn State.
Nope. Penn State.
Nebraska. Nebraska ball.
Nebraska's second worst.
Who am I missing? It's not Rutgers, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Ouch.
Okay, who has the worst defensive efficiency?
Nebraska ball.
Yeah. Okay. Who has the worst?
Nebraska ball is bad.
Yeah. They are 5-6 with a 1 million point loss to Auburn. Who has the worst adjusted tempo?
Penn State.
Yep. Nailed it. So, yeah.
That's I'm just naming the 3 worst teams in the league, okay?
I mean, Maryland's got to be factored in that. They
true. Who'd they just beat, though?
Yeah, they did beat Florida, but Florida's also Florida lost to Texas Southern. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Okay, before we get out of here, last thing. Can you name the top 5 Big Ten Conference allkenpom.com list? Top 5 Big Ten players.
Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah, he's number 4, which is a joke, by the way.
Wow. Murray.
Number 5, another joke.
Travion Williams. Tavion.
Yep, number 2.
Is Kofi on the list?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Probably because he missed 3 games.
Plummer?
No, not even close.
Who would be number 1? Give me a team.
If I give you the team, you're going to know. I mean,
okay. Well, I don't know him.
The team wears red. Both of the 2 players you're missing have red jerseys.
I got nothing. Go ahead.
Liddell is number 1.
Oh, geez. I don't know.
And Johnny Davis from Wisconsin is number 3.
Johnny Davis. I would have never got that one.
Oh, you don't pay attention?
I'll be honest. I haven't watched Wisconsin play.
They're pretty good. The number 1 offensive team in the Big Ten is, according to this, Illinois. And Illinois is number 5 on defense in the Big Ten, apparently. So there you go. But turnover percentage, Illinois is last. So there you go.
No
Actually,
way.
second to last. Wait, third to last. Wait, they're tied for second to last in turnover percentage on offense. Rutgers is the worst. Illinois is tied with Purdue, second to last. So maybe that's why Purdue's not number 1, because they turn the ball over too much. But anyway, that's going to do it for us.
Oh, yep.
What are you going to say?
Marquise Beeson committed somewhere, but I don't know. UAM?
University of Alabama Montgomery.
Really?
I don't know.
It's like a weird logo.
University of Arkansas at Monticello. Is it green?
No, it's red.
What are you, high?
The Dogs. They're the Dogs.
That's not a real thing.
AAUM, Alabama A&M. You don't know who Marquise Beeson is? The 4-star that was at Illinois. He was hurt his freshman year.
He's a cornerback.
Yeah.
Duncanville, Texas High School. Everybody knows that.
He's a DB at Alabama A&M.
Yeah, they got a nice class
weird
coming
choice.
In. A couple 3-stars going to Alabama A&M.
That
Maybe he thinks it's Alabama.
Well, good luck.
Maybe their coach dresses up as Nick Saban and tells them, hey, all right. So maybe that's the case. All right.
All right.
That'll do it for us. We'll catch you for episode 85. I don't know when, but it'll be a preview.
Well,
of the
will they
Missouri
play
game,
Saturday?
Right? Yeah, probably Sunday night, if that's.
Yeah, Sunday should be fine, unless the Packers are playing somebody or something.
They play 3:25. We'll be fine.
So expect it at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
8
All
o'clock
right.
Sunday.
Okay, bye.
Later.